Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have DuckTales, the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Yeah, I almost had to look at the title just so I got it right. This is obviously an Indiana Jones kind of tribute movie. It's going big scale. It's not just your normal daily adventure on TV with Huey, Dewey, and Louie and their uncle Scrooge McDuck and Webby also his niece. This is from 1990. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. It's Launchpad appears as well, but he has a very small role in this. But it's not insignificant because he it starts off with big adventure from the very beginning. Scrooge is out looking for a lost treasure, as he's been looking for 40 years, and as we join the adventure, Launchpad is flying blind through a canyon. I'm guessing in the Middle East, and of course crashes, but everybody survives. So it feels very much. It's meant to be a kind of a swashbuckling throwback adventure. Even by the font, it's meant to evoke Indiana Jones, kind of fun. So if you love the series, obviously you'd want to continue watching the adventures of your favorite Duck nephews and their insanely rich and still insanely greedy Scrooge McDuck, voiced by classic actor who's voiced him for so long, Alan Young. And we have a villain in this. They're a little tropey, but we have an ancient mysterious villain voiced by Christopher Lloyd. Yes, Doc Brown, and so many other things, but I know him as Doc Brown personally. Yeah, he plays our villain. He's got the nice raspy voice that you need to invoke fear in children, apparently. So, of course, this treasure is found. I'm not going to spoil too much for you, but it is the treasure of the lost lamp. So it kind of gives that away for you. It's not the treasure they were expecting, though. What Webby ends up picking up is this simple looking lamp amongst all the jewels and gold and everything else, and Scrooge would be like, yeah, sure, have that, all you want, I'll take the rest. Well, that turns out to be more valuable than anything else, because it's got a genie inside of it. Of course it's got a genie inside of it. It's a lamp. It's like if I found a pile of treasure in a cave somewhere and I found a lamp amongst it, one of the first things I'm gonna do, maybe, is start rubbing lamps that I see. Any and all lamps, I'm gonna start rubbing them and see what happens. So in this case, nobody seems to be aware of such thing, of such mythology. But eventually, once they get it home, well, the boys and girl all discover real quick that this genie can do a lot for them. They at some points they want to wish a little bit bigger than they should, which puts a tax, kind of puts a strain on the genie. And in some cases, we realize they just sort of throw wishes away for just silly things like the biggest ice cream sundae, or a pet that is only going to cause trouble, things like that. But so they're kids, so they're going to make often dumb choices because they don't understand what consequences are. And that's kind of the whole it's the whole meaning behind the idea of a genie, teaching you how to make good choices, and understanding that there are consequences for your actions, despite it seeming like something that could not go wrong. Other than maybe you could wish for world peace, but I hate to see how that would blow up. I just really would. What we get here, we get a number of different. We had Rusty Taylor back, I think, as Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Probably more. And Webby, she probably does all the voices. Rusty Taylor, she was just an icon, even into The Simpsons. But we also get another iconic name playing the genie. Why can't I say his name? Rip Taylor. Yeah, Rip Taylor, which does not sound like Rip Taylor because he plays a surprisingly the duck. I mean, the genie is a duck. I guess everybody's a duck. No, not everybody's a duck. There's other animals in this reality, but it just so happens that the genie is also a duck, like all the kids and Scrooge. And he doesn't change based on who his master is, which would have made some kind of logical sense if they were going to make him a duck. But I think it just would have been too confusing, I think, for kids to keep track of the character. You want to, by making him a duck, you give him you get the idea that he's one of the good guys, because our heroes are also ducks. But Rip Taylor, this is when you're watching this, you're just like, somebody's kind of doing almost a Robin Williams, but no. This came out 2 years before the Aladdin movie that we know. So it's almost like maybe the concept, I mean, the idea of a djinn, which is where we get the term genie from ancient folklore, is that they're kind of like demons. It's okay. I'm just explaining this from my American way of seeing things. They are mystical, powerful, often terrifying beings in some mythologies that you kind of do not mess with. And the fact that they are only restrained by this lamp and restrained by their master's will to do, if unrestrained, they would cause great havoc and great danger. You can correct me on that. I'm not totally clear on all my genie history. Let's just say. But in this case, he's benevolent force who's essentially a slave and is at the whim of whoever rubs his lamp. So the ownership changes hands a number of times throughout this. But what we get here is the idea that a djinn is not something so terrifying, but he's smart alecky, he's funny, he's quick-witted, and that is the genie that Robin Williams gave us, but he didn't give it to us first. I can't think of another situation. Okay, I Dream of Jeannie, but even Jeannie from back then, when she becomes the property of an Air Force corporal or whatever is colonel, whatever the guy from I Dream of Jeannie, whatever his rank was in the U.S. military. Jeannie was a little bit, yes, out of control. She had her own opinions. It was very much a kind of not a knock, but it's more of a take on women's lib, not a knock. Sort of saying, you know what, you may own me, you may think you own me, but I am something more than that. And of course, the romance happens. But that's I Dream of Jeannie, and she's just a woman with an opinion and a mind of her own, despite being tethered to a man, causing hilarious hijinks in the process. I'm trying to think of other things over the years that have had genies in them, but it's the whole chaos comedy level genie. Rip Taylor did it before Robin Williams. And you can see, I kind of have to wonder. I mean, it's not like Robin Williams is going to go through the whole, comedy genies. Like, is he going to go through that whole history? Is he going to go look at this movie and go, well, Rip Taylor did a really good job. Let me see what I can do better. I really don't know. I doubt it. I'm sure he knows of Rip Taylor, and I'm sure he knows enough about somebody at a meeting somewhere. Somebody must have said, hey, you know what? We just had a DuckTales movie with a genie who is funny and just crazy and out of control. What can you do with that, Robin? He certainly did something with it. So, and just like Will Smith's version of the genie in the live action film is built upon Robin Williams' performance that everybody knows and loves, he's obviously doing his own thing as well. But when you really look at it, they might have all been building upon Rip Taylor's performance. And he doesn't sound like Rip Taylor. His voice is changed enough, I think, to sound more like a kid, because he presents as a kid. He's very small, like the nephews and niece. And so you get, this is obviously, a kid's adventure. If he was like this dude who just shows up in their room whenever they rub a lamp, it would be a little bit stranger. And also a little harder for Scrooge McDuck, Uncle Scrooge, to, say, overpower him. Because eventually he does get his hands on the lamp. And what do you think he's going to do with it? A greedy billionaire? He says one of the more unsettling things in this, because we don't take this, when we look at genies, they're always fun, magical beings with terrifying powers. When he gets his hands on the lamp, and I am spoiling this, he's like, you're going to do what you're told. You're a genie, and you're not a person. The kids warn him, no, he's our friend. It's like, no, he's not a person. He's a thing. And that, to me, it was one of the more surprising moments in this, that he wasn't, Scrooge is always seen, as their mentor, their leader, their uncle, the person who takes care of them. But again, he's driven by greed. He's always driven by greed. And what is a person driven by greed going to want? More than anything? More wealth. And that did not go against that concept of a character. He's essentially not a bad guy, because at some point he has to make a big choice. And he makes the right choice. Of course he does. It's a Disney film. But on first instinct, he doesn't make the right choice. And that causes even more problems for everybody, but especially him. So there's a lot more going on in this story than you'd think. It's not like DuckTales has not done a socially conscious story before, but still, it really fits home in this modern time. Hits home, I should say. Fits home? What am I talking about? I say, yeah, definitely. If you're a DuckTales fan, if you haven't watched this yet, yeah, obviously watch this. But it's a nice throwback. It's got just the classic style of animation, the cell animation, hand drawn. There's painted backgrounds. Just, it's not yet, because this is 1990. They're not trying to incorporate digital 3D animation into everything. Like, so much was happening in the late 90s with Disney animation, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it was a good experiment. So other times it's a little bit, it imposes upon itself. It just sort of gets in the way sometimes. Other times it looks really nice. This doesn't have any of that. It's classic 2D cell animation. So if you love that kind of stuff, just for that reason, you got to check it out. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 200 even. What do we got? Come on, load. I opened you already. There's no reason for you to just because I plugged you back in doesn't mean that you need to reset everything. Okay. All right. We are really cutting through a number of this film in these various Marvel sagas. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying things really awkwardly tonight. I think I need something to eat. We have a handful of these films left. And this is The Amazing Spider-Man. We've already watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 as part of this series. I've seen that plenty of times. I've seen this plenty of times. So, Amazing Spider-Man. So we're going to finish off the Andrew Garfield era of Amazing Spider-Man, although we do not have No Way Home as far as I know. No Way Home is not on Disney Plus yet, unless it got added in the last 2 months since the beginning of the year. I think they would have made a bigger deal about it if they did. I don't know. But yeah, I think we're going to just check out The Amazing Spider-Man on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye. Okay. Hold on. We just watched this. I know it's only been December, but I already blanked out on this. It was like just in December 2024, like not even 2 months ago, that we watched this, and for some reason it didn't come off the list. Why is this? What are the settings? It shouldn't be picking that number. This should have came off the list. I don't know why. Okay, so we have to pick another number because we already watched this. Come back. I am sorry, because I checked last year, it was 228. What? 199? What are the odds that it's going to be one less? Okay, so we're going to be doing a documentary. If you look real closely at the last clip, that it was. I hope this is something that we also didn't watch, but you would have known what we're watching next. It's called Texas Storm Squad. If it turns out that we've already seen this, I'm going to be very upset that my spreadsheets are not working right. Texas Storm Squad is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.